bring you the very latest news from South Korea because the parliament has voted to impeach President Yoon over that martial law declaration. And just a warning, there may be some flashing images coming up, but let's go live to the latest pictures from Seoul right now. And that's the National Assembly in Seoul, and MPs started voting in the last few moments ago. That result is in. We can hear now from our Asia correspondent, Nicole Johnston. Nicole, just bring viewers up to date. What do we know?
As you said, quite an incredible result that the country has been waiting for, with that impeachment vote passing. Now, remember, a week ago it failed to pass, and that was because the President's party boycotted it. But this time it's gone through, 204 to 85. So it hasn't passed with a huge result, only just really, because those opposition parties needed 200 votes, so two-thirds majority in the 300-seat National Assembly for it to pass. So, as I said, it only just passed. Clearly, they managed to get some of those lawmakers from the President's party to effectively change sides and vote with the opposition, 6 opposition parties. So certainly some kind of outcome now and some certainty, it seems, for South Korea. At least they won't be going through another impeachment vote, because there had been a sense that the opposition would try again and again. They said that they would do this every Saturday. Now, though, there will be a period of instability. There'll be up to 6 months of deliberations. This impeachment will go to the Constitutional Court, so it has 180 days to decide what to do. After that period of time, if the impeachment goes through, there would be elections. So at the most, we could be seeing up to 8 months of a caretaker government in South Korea. It could be much less than that, but that is how long it could be. Around the world, though, people will be watching this martial law declaration by President Yoon that happened 11 days ago. Absolutely shocked people in this region and beyond, because it was the very last thing that anybody expected to take place on a quiet, cold winter's night in South Korea. This happened, as I said, on a Tuesday 11 days ago. So now we have to wait and see how long this Constitutional Court process will take. In the past, there has been occasions where it's only taken a few months, but as I said, it could also take much longer than that. And that means that South Korea is certainly set for continued instability, crisis, and turmoil. We're seeing some of those pictures now of people outside of the National Assembly. They'll be hearing that news. We know that there's been tens of thousands of South Koreans protesting across the country, one end of the country to the other, ever since this martial law declaration.
And Nicole, as you say, there will be an urgency from lawmakers for back to normal, you know, a smooth transition. We're seeing on the Reuters news agency that the Prime Minister, so Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, will become South Korea's acting president after the impeachment of President Yoon. It's been days and days of chaos and quite instability for people across South Korea. What will the next moves be in the coming hours, really, from within the National Assembly, as you know it?
Well, as you said, the next significant development will be the transfer of the President's power to the Prime Minister. Now, the Prime Minister ordinarily doesn't hold a great deal of power. In South Korea, the power is centred around the President. And this is something that the opposition parties have been calling for days now. They wanted that power to have already been transferred away from the President to the Prime Minister, but there were comments and calls among analysts in South Korea that that was unconstitutional. So you can see just how hectic and unclear the entire situation has been in South Korea ever since this started. But as I said, the longer-term picture now is a period of prolonged instability that could last months while the Constitutional Court decides what to do. And at the same time, we have these simultaneous investigations underway, multiple investigations into what exactly took place 11 days ago, the decisions that were made, who made the decisions. We've already had the former Defence Minister arrested, the head of the country's police service, the head of Seoul's police service. So more and more people are being entangled in this, but the opposition seems quite convinced that the buck stops with the president. And we heard from him only a couple of days. It was the first time he had spoken out and given an address since the last failed impeachment vote, and he was defiant. Very defiant. He said that he would fight to the end and that this was to prevent the collapse of democracy. Because for President Yoon, his argument for carrying out this martial law declaration is that there are North Korean elements within South Korea and within the government. Now, the rest of the country is not buying that. His popularity, which was already incredibly low at around 17%, is now hovering at around 11%. And the other part of this, of course, is that the president's party would be deeply concerned that eventually, when all of this goes to an election, if it does, that they will lose. But it is certainly remarkable that members of his own party have turned against him and decided, as we have just seen, to vote with the opposition to allow this impeachment to pass.
OK, for now, Nicole Johnson there with the very latest of that developing story from Seoul. Thank you very much.